President Dr. Irfan Ali's flagship Vaname Prawns project launched a year ago is living up to expectations as the first batch of prawns harvested recently has been described as highly satisfying and in keeping with all the preset parameters as promised by the consultants overseeing the project. While the project boasts 10 ponds with the capacity to grow up to 600,000 prawns each, only one pond was stocked in this trial, with 89,000 post larvae. Of these, 70% was harvested a week ago, yielding just under 1,000 pounds of prawns, valued at around 2 million Guyana dollars. Just over a month ago, a second pond was stocked with just over 300,000 post larvae, with harvest of this pond expected in another 3 months. Project engineer Mr. Raymond Latchman, who is overseeing the project, was on hand for the first harvest, which began at 3 a.m. and concluded just after 5:45 a.m. He gave an overview of the project to date.
Currently building out this farm as well as engaging in production at the same time. So currently we have 2 ponds under production. We would have harvested one this morning. The first trial run for us entailed 89,000 post larvae that we stocked into one pond, which was harvested this morning. And so currently the guys are packing and weighing what would have been our forced drag or forced harvest for that pond. So we're estimating we'll have about a ton of production. This is just a start, an experimental run for us. And so we're harvesting, packing, and we have the cold storage truck on standby to take this to the processing facility. Our second pond, we've increased the stocking number to just about 380,000. So that we'll see a larger harvest in about 2 months' time. So we're a month into production for that. The first harvest will be 3 months and the final harvest will be 4 months. So it takes about 3 to 4 months to grow out. Some grow faster than the others.
One of the technical parameters of a project such as this is whether the prawns meet the expected market size within the grow-out period. In this case, that criteria has been met.
Yes, we're satisfied with the size. It's taken us a little bit longer because it's an experimental activity for us, this first batch. So we worked out the kinks, we understand what the constraints are that we're working with and so on. But in terms of size and production quantities and so on, yes, we're very much satisfied with what the production is this morning.
The harvested prawns from the UNVOAC project were sold to a local processing house for export. So what happens next? According to Mr. Latchman, the ramping up of production will now begin in earnest, with the lessons learnt from the first pond being applied to the rest.
So we currently have 5 ponds lined, 2 in production. We're fixing the third one now. That is going to be in production, stocked in 2 weeks. And we are also prepping the others. We've got 9 ponds currently constructed. The 10th one is being constructed just to the left of me here. We're going to start the construction of the 10th pond, and we have 3 water storage ponds, which entails storage of seawater, the treatment of return water, because we don't want to be dumping the wastewater directly into the system coming out of the ponds, so we recirculate that water and reuse it. So by the end of the year, we're expecting to have all of our ponds lined and majority of them in production.
In an invited comment, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa said the prawns project is living up to expectations, and the results of this first harvest confirms government's pronouncements on the viability of the project. According to Minister Mustafa, the price per ton of prawns in the world market is $15,000. This means that when the project is fully stocked and operational, one crop of prawns can yield as much as $750,000. The project expects at least 2 crops per year. Minister Mustafa said he is very happy at this first harvest and excited at what the future holds.
We have had the first harvest of the Vaname prawns that we started, the pilot project that we started at Angoa. It was a tremendous success because the first tranche we harvested 495 kilograms of that Vaname prawns. There are still some more remain to be harvested, which will be done in the coming week. But this was a very major success for us, because when we started the program, many persons was very skeptical about that it would not be feasible to do it here. And I want to commend the initiative of His Excellency the President, because it was his idea to start this process of going into production in prawns. And I think that now that we have harvested and we have seen the successes that we have had, we'll now go into large-scale production. We have 10 ponds there. Very shortly, all the ponds will be, we will have larvae in it to start the cultivation in large-scale production. I'm very optimistic that this will be a very successful project. However, we are seeing very encouraging signs from the private sector. We have seen the private sector already went up there, they have looked at what we have had, and they are very interested in investing. And this is where the whole intention of investment and get involved in the aquaculture industry comes in. And I am very optimistic that we can have the kind of investment, and you know for a fact that we have a good opportunity here to bring in large revenue, because places like Ecuador and the Central American country, Peru and so, they have industry with these species of vanami and shrimp. And we are now started it here, and I think in this part of the Caribbean, we are the only country in the Caribbean that are doing this activity, and it has potential to be a multi-billion-dollar industry coming out of Guyana. So I am very optimistic that we will have future successes, and I hope that with the new program, with the program that we have launched, and within 10 ponds, we will be able to consolidate and also involve the young people and the women that the President would have promises when he launched the program. You know, 35% of all the agriculture project must have women and youth, 35% women and youth in it. And this is a program that can help us tremendously.
Harvest of the remaining 30% left in the first pond will be done in the coming weeks. The idea is to see how much bigger the prawns can get given a few more weeks to feed and grow.